You're listening to the PlantX podcast, the digital face of the plant-based community. Join us as we explore the inner workings of all things plant-based, from the products and lifestyles to the people behind them. Each week, we'll be touching on what's new in the ever-expanding world of PlantX and chat with everyone from entrepreneurs and chefs to nutritionists and scientists. Whether you follow a strict plant-based diet or just want to learn more, you're invited. Now welcome our host, the man who combined his love of e-commerce and the plant-based lifestyle to create PlantX, Sean Dollinger.
Hey everyone, welcome to our fourth vodcast. I can't believe that it's already our fourth vodcast. And I actually, while driving over to the office today, I was thinking about it, and we've already been public for 2 months, which is unbelievable. Time actually flies when incredible things are going on. And, before I jump in and introduce our guest and everything that we've got going on today, I always think about people who are coming on and watching the show, future customers, investors, shareholders, anybody who's interested in our story. And I really like giving a little bit of a 101 on what we are all about here. So, we're the face of the digital face. We are the face of the plant-based community, and we're your one-stop shop for everything plant-based. And what that means is if anybody's looking for absolutely anything from meals to pet products to plants themselves, and we had a great show last week with our partners over in the UK, Bloombox, and anything that you're looking for, we want to be that one-stop shop, and we want to be very welcoming. All the time when I speak to people, they all have a story about wanting to go plant-based, and since COVID, I find it's more than ever that people have this interest in healthy living and bringing everything to the next level. And here at PlantX, what we want to do is, if you've ate fish or meat or anything at all, we are not here to judge you in any way. We want you to come here because you're curious to learn how to live a plant-based lifestyle. So many times people tell me I can't get full from eating a plant-based lifestyle, and it's just not a fact. Like, as soon as you start living it, you'll truly believe in it, and it's pretty unbelievable what we've accomplished up to date. So that's a little recap on what we're all about. And today on the show we have a gentleman by the name of Scott from Iris Management and Construction. We still stick true to our franchise concept here at PlantX, and Scott and his team are the best that I know across Canada and North America, and we've partnered with them to launch all of the franchises across North America. So thanks for joining us today, Scott.
Thanks for having me on, Sean.
And, we always love starting off the vodcast with the question, how do you enjoy your coffee?
I figured you might ask, and I've actually brewed myself a fresh cup of joe. Typically, I like French press. I have a 4-filtered French press here at home. Every morning, fresh grounds. I like a medium roast, and I get my water to a nice 200 degrees. And, I always drink my coffee black as it was intended.
Awesome. It's amazing how many people we've had on the show in just the 4 weeks that actually enjoy their coffee black, because I can't tell you how many times I go out there and people are like, you're drinking it black? I can't believe it.
Oh, yeah. That goes back to the days of my father, Jimbo Kurz, and taking me to hockey practice at 5 a.m. and going to Robin's Donuts. I used to always look at him drink his black coffee, and always wanted to be like him. So that's where it started.
Awesome. No, and I love a great French press. There's nothing quite like it if it's done perfectly. So no, thanks for some background on that. I think it says a lot about the person that we have on. So, with that being said, maybe tell us a little bit about Iris Management Construction and your role over there.
Totally. So Iris Construction Management, it's a project management company that specializes in optimizing franchises throughout construction. So similar to how PlantX is that one-stop shop for the digital plant-based community, we are a one-stop shop for everything that is construction. So being able to take people's ideas from inception and all the way to completion. If you're talking specifically about my role, you know what, I wear many different hats, but my biggest role would have to be being able to connect with our partners and our customers and bringing that message to our incredible Iris team members. So the way I like to put it is, you know, I want to put myself inside our client's business, understand their mission, their vision, and be able to relay that message as best I can so that we can make our clients' dreams a reality.
Yeah, and so far we've been working with you guys for the last couple months, and it's really been amazing to see how quickly your team could adapt to the story. And, you know, we are very much organic over here. One week something makes sense, as you guys know, and then the next week, you know, we'll pivot and make sure that it makes sense for our investors, shareholders in our company, because at the end of the day, you need to be able to adapt. You know, in 2020, the world changes so quickly, new rules come out, all these different things that perhaps some of our projects move as a priority, and you guys have done a phenomenal job in keeping up with our team. That's one thing that I love. And, you know, you being available literally 20 hours a day. Again, that's really the culture that we formed at PlantX, and to get to the point where we've been able to get to in just a few short months. This just started in February, and with a couple of the acquisitions we've made, we're on pace to do $50 to $70 million in the next year. We need team members like yourself, and someone like you who's leading your team over there to really, you know, be joint at the hip with us. So, you know, thank you so far for that. And, you know, obviously we're working on these turnkey packages for franchises, because we want to give people who were hurt by COVID or their business model to join this incredible movement of plant-based living. And you guys are really helping us be able to give these packages to these people. Maybe you want to speak a little bit about what that looks like and how you've seen it work for other franchisees that you guys have worked with.
Yeah, no matter, you know, kind of what industry you're in or what project, I guess, you're doing, turnkey is the way to go and the only way to go, we feel. We've been fortunate enough to work with some great successful franchise companies such as Fast Fired, Opa of Greece, Decalash, Stemoji, just to name a few. And even though they're in, you know, different industries, they all follow a similar approach to construction. And for us, you know, it always comes down to proper planning and calculated execution. If you nail those, you're going to have zero overruns and you're not going to be delayed. And, you know, working with our customers and our partners, they jump right on board with that methodology. And we've had some great success because of it.
Yeah, no, it gives us a lot of comfort bringing on someone with your type of experience to really help, because we want to build our business. We don't want to all of a sudden start having to worry about things not being executed in the rollout and being delayed and all of these things. And I know you've been working really close with our CMO on a whole bunch of things on the design. And it's once again, great to see how the teams work together. It's not that you're a separate team and we're a separate team, but how, you know, they come together. And one of the fun aspects, which maybe we could share with our shareholders and investors, we're looking to open these up eventually all over the world. And I know you've been having, you know, a fun kind of feature in each spot that brings them all connected. So maybe share that with our investors, shareholders, how whether they walk into a plant store that happens to be a franchise, a cafe, one of our grocery stores, what's going to bring them all together so that people know, hey, this is a PlantX corporation.
Yeah, and I wish I had my lead designer on the project, Juliana, beside me, because she could probably explain it a little better than me. But I think the unique to PlantX option or options that we would focus on being consistent across all platforms and being that, you know, kind of consistent brand identity would be these education centers that we're building in. So one kind of the heart of most of the buildings is going to have this unreal 360 glass greenhouse with glass on all sides. We're going to have an exhibition table out front with you know, an employee that can engage and speak with the customers and educate them on the plant-based products, with, you know, growing plants and products right behind them as that heartbeat of the shop. And Next would be these recipe kiosks. And we're going to have these floor to ceiling engaging interactive screens. You can flip through the recipes. I believe there'll be the recipes from your celebrity chef, Sean, down in California. And another exhibition table where you'll have the actual ingredients that you can grab and go. Maybe even some pre-made meals where you can just grab and eat right then and there. And that's something that's truly unique to this specific industry that will be recognized in a majority of the stores across the world.
Cool. And I think that there's also going to be some type of feature wall, right? As well.
Yeah, the feature wall is going to be pretty cool. It's we've got this full plant wall with a nice neon sign. I don't want to give too much away because the people out there are going to have to come check it out for themselves, but it's definitely going to be that Instagram wall you're going to want to take a selfie at.
Yeah, no, and then just to really point out to shareholders and investors, this is a model that's being built out for franchising. So again, we stay true to our model of really not housing any inventory, very minimal inventory, but putting together an incredible product selection, recipes, and just create a fresh new shopping experience. That's really what we're all about. And for these franchisees, it's really important, right, Scott, that the budget, the timeline, all of that's rolled out perfectly, because I've seen it before where you think you're opening up in 3 months, that becomes 8 months because of all the difficulties out there. So, how do you go about making sure all of that stays in line, and when you set a timeline that it actually remains as a timeline?
Yeah, and I'll kind of go back to some of the previous successes with some of our other franchises, and what they have in common, even though they're in different industries, is that they've jumped on and worked with our team really hard on that initial design. When you bang out that initial design and you pay attention to the finest of details, it allows you to have future projects when you start scaling your business to be on time and on budget. You create a central Bible, so to speak, with everything detailed inside of it to where you're just duplicating and replicating. And that really helps when moving forward and scaling into multiple locations.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And, I just also want to take 1 second out from our conversation and encourage people who've taken, their Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon to come watch this show, to go ahead and ask any questions they might have. We always, we've got Scott here live on a Saturday from Winnipeg. And if there's anything right away, let's go ahead and ask him. And then on top of that, for the interaction on our show, we love to do a few giveaways, and maybe Scott, you want to say what will be given away today to the person who, just says positives, negatives, any type of feedback, because again, they're taking valuable time out of their day to be interested in our company.
Well, Sean, I forgot the plant name, but I have one of those plants upstairs, and her name is Poppy, named after my 6-year-old daughter. So you're going to have to remind me of the plant's name. That's my wife's duty. She has all the plants in the house.
I believe it's called an alocasia. So
my alocasia, Poppy, that is being given away today for anyone who engages in comments in our live feed.
No, thanks, Scott, for that. And then let's maybe wrap it up with, obviously, you pointed out that you've worked with many teams in the past. Mm-hmm. And not all of our shareholders and investors have met us personally. One of the reasons we have this show is really to give context on who's part of the team. Then we bring in parties like yourself and partnerships, just so people could get a feel that it's not just a company name, there's more to it out there. And for our AGM this year, I'd love to do it at one of these incredible spots that you put together for us, which we believe will open December 1st in San Diego, or at least close to possible. And we obviously have a couple more surprises in the works for everyone that you obviously will help roll out. And I think them coming and experiencing what we're doing. But maybe, you've been working really close with the team for the last couple of months. So perhaps you could say what's different about our team versus others, and what have you enjoyed?
It's an interesting question. I think the biggest difference working alongside PlantX is being a part of that unique team that you speak of, and more so building something that's never been done before. That's something that we really jumped on board right off the bat. And I think we have to go back to your track record, Sean. I mean, you've built tremendous successful businesses from the ground up, and your ability to be able to select these experts in their own respective fields to come together and execute a project such as this. So for me, working with the team, doing our weekly meetings to our breakaways, I know working with Andrew and Alex has been an absolute tremendous success for the initial design. And they're hardworking people. And I'm a firm believer that if you get hardworking people and like-minded individuals, the recipe is always success. And that's what I believe we have here with PlantX today.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better, Scott. So, thanks for that feedback to really understand, because we're feeling the same thing. And I know even through the design stages, it probably was getting a little bit frustrating, like it was back and forth 10 different times. But, like you pointed out, you guys have been working really close with Alex, and she had this vision, and you guys absolutely executed and killed on the final design that I saw. And I can't wait to be able to share it with our investors and shareholders. We'll get something out there in a newsletter or something, because I'm totally stoked about that.
Yeah, that's normal, Sean. And I think the biggest thing that's allowing us to really streamline this initial design process is our ability to be in constant contact. Whenever we need, we can get a hold of each other and just tackle a project or overcome a hurdle that we have and move things along.
Yeah, no. And then someone in the company, has told me we need to partner with the best of the best. We want to surround our team with experts. And, I think that so far it's been absolutely perfect with you guys. So, thank you for taking the time out of your Saturday to join us. And maybe you and I could just tackle this first question together. I'll let you tackle the first part, and I could answer the second part. When will the flagship store open in San Diego, and how many franchisor store do you plan in the second quarter of 2021? So I'll answer the second part. Maybe you want to speak a little bit on the launch of the flagship, because they've committed to $30 million of purchases. So we want to really get that up and running. And Scott, just so you know, that 30 million, it puts us by far in the lead in the Canadian public market space. If you add every other Canadian public company in the plant-based space combined, they don't do that type of revenue. So this is a great question by whoever asked that.
Yeah, so in Squamish here, it's going to be kind of a twofold construction job. But we have the cafe on one hand, and we have the pop-up grocery on the right. We hope to have that open, early 2021. The designs are just at the finishing phases. We're ready to get going on both of those projects. And then in regards to the flagship store, where everything is included, we're finishing that design as we speak, and that will be in San Diego, California. We are super excited about this one, and we are going to push as hard as we can to get that completed, open, and ready for the public early in the new year.
Fantastic. No, thanks for that. And then, as far as franchises go, we already have people contacting us. We're in a really exciting space. We have a great team rolling out the Canadian side of things. So I can't put an exact number on franchises, but once we get a little closer, once we get up the location in San Diego, we'll definitely come back to answering that question more in depth. So, Scott, thanks again for joining. Really appreciate it. Look forward to
having me.
Work with you guys.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thanks. So, again, guys, these shows and are so important to getting the story out there. We go ahead, we press release this great announcement on Thursday, but what does it mean? What does a relationship with Iris Construction Management really mean? And, hopefully here in this 20-25 minute vodcast, you get to meet the people that we bring to the table, and you get to see how qualified they are and how incredible they are for our team. So that's the whole idea. So please keep sharing the podcasts with friends, family, anyone who you could think of who is interested in joining the plant-based movement, exploring new products. Last week, we had over 500 views on our podcast just on the different platforms, our first show. now has well over 1,000. So that means 1,000 different people. And if you combine the 4 different shows, over 3,000 people have taken the time to learn about PlantX and what we're building. And we see our shareholder base keep growing thanks to everybody's hard work. And that will allow for the story to get out there, for revenue to keep increasing on our platform. Plant sales after last week has really started taking off on the platform. So again, thank you very much for taking your time out on a Saturday to join us live. And whoever didn't have a chance to watch us live, please join, and watch in your own time, and keep giving us feedback. We're always looking to improve this. And, till next week, stay curious, stay planted, stay healthy.
So that's it for this episode of the PlantX podcast. Please check out www.plantx.com, the one-stop shop for everything plant-based and the digital face of the plant-based community. We have meal delivery, groceries, plant-based supplements and vitamins, and great ways to connect